and we were bringing on Steve Adubato, so we had to play. You got to play. We have a little agreement. It's like a love agreement between us, right, Steve? You come on, we play the old man. What am I going to tell you, sir?
We have an understanding, Joe.
Understanding, darling. How are you, Steven? How you doing, man?
I'm doing great.
I can't wait.
Tell everybody what's going to happen tomorrow morning. Let's get right to it.
Business breakfast moderated by Steve Adubato, and Steve's going to be at the dinner tonight. Steve, thank you for coming to the dinner tonight with me.
There's a dinner tonight?
Come on. It's a marathon. It's the business breakfast marathon, Steve.
You know what? I would be at the breakfast, but my son is on the Seton Hall freshman baseball team, and they're playing tonight, and I have to be there. That'll be a marathon, too, but I want to apologize for not being at the dinner. I will be at the breakfast tomorrow morning.
Steve, I got to tell you, and I say this, the Lord knows, we love you, and we've been friends so many years, but if you're listening, Steve Adubato goes all around the country, and he does these great corporate kind of gatherings, and Steve is the head of that, and he'll give you, he'll teach you how to be an entrepreneur, the lessons in leadership, and now, yet, he comes to the radio station, and we appreciate that, because you have such fun up there. And how about Mr. John Bramnick on the panel? How cool is that, Steve Adubato?
Yeah, let's tell folks about that panel. We got a great panel. We're going to be talking about important business issues, entrepreneurial advice, and also plugging my book. What's it called? Lessons in Leadership. That's right. John Bramnick, who is the leader of the Republican Party in the state of New Jersey. They're otherwise known as the Minority Party, as you know, Joe. But John Bramnick is a great friend. He's known as the funniest lawyer
I know.
in New Jersey. And the last time he was on, I said, John, how hard could that be? To be the funniest lawyer.
No,
he didn't laugh.
Yeah, no, he went out with Mike Marino at NJ Pack. I was traveling. They sold out 2 shows.
I got the call from John Bramnick, my good friend, the assemblyman. He said, Steve, I said, why, do you want to come on the State of Affairs on one of our public television shows? He goes, yes, I do. I said, you want to talk about tax policy? You want to talk about property tax? You want to talk about Governor Murphy? He goes, no, I need to plug my show. I'm opening up for Marino over at NJ. I said, Assemblyman, is that what your priority goes? He said, absolutely. We need to sell tickets.
He's an
entrepreneur.
He's a great guy. And also, when I went down there and I met the Republican caucus, underneath the legislature in Trenton, then he goes over what he called in a friendly way, let's go across the DMZ, he called it, and we went and we chatted with the Democrats.
You went to go see the Democrats?
John took me there. John Bramnick took me there, and he's he's so bipartisan. That's the way politics should be, Steve Adubato.
See, we need more bipartisanship, less, I shouldn't use this word, but there's a lot of bipolar political activity going on. See, that's my shtick this morning, Joe. But Bramnick,
I love it.
Seriousness, he's one of those guys that crosses the aisle, that deals with Democrats, talks with Democrats, doesn't agree with Governor Murphy on a lot of things. But the fact is, just like we'll be talking about tomorrow morning, compromise is not a bad word when you're in business or in politics at the Salem Business Breakfast tomorrow morning. By the way, let's tell folks where it is, Joe. I'm just trying to stay focused.
Passaic County Community College. It's great. It's so easy to get to off of tour. Oh, Bernie Kerrick's going to be there, too. Bernard Kerrick will be there, former NYPD commissioner. And I'm telling you, Bernie's great. And Susan Saffis from Rhino Shield. Steve, you got a Rhino Shield, that beautiful home. Well, your homes, plural. You got to Rhino Shield your homes, man. Susan's going to be there. This is going to be a great panel, Stephen.
It is going to be fabulous, and I encourage everyone to be there tomorrow morning, not just because they get to see Joe Piscopo and the team do the show. You're going to be doing the show there, right? I just want to
live. Oh, yeah, but you got to come on the air with us, man. And Phil Van Horn from Blue Rock Energy. Come on. This is great. This is good.
It'll be a chance for people not just to see the show, but also to be a part of this great breakfast, great event. You'll learn terrific, tangible advice. You take advice away. You put it into your business. You start a new business. You do things so that you can make more money in this country and pay more taxes in our beautiful country. I just heard you on with Norquist just now.
Please.
I'm going to let that go. We're not going to talk about the Trump tax policy. I will say that I used to be for the millionaires tax in New Jersey. I used to think it was a good idea.
Yeah.
We needed more revenue. Yeah. Now I don't because I'm getting squeezed so hard from the Trump taxes that I can't write off my property taxes on my multiple homes. that now I don't think the millionaire's tax in New Jersey is such a good idea. I just want to share that with you.
You know, and I love Steve Sweeney, the head of the Senate, president of the Senate in Jersey, went against Governor Murphy, saying, no, you can't put a millionaire's tax. Where will that end up, Steve, do you think, in your opinion?
In fact, we just had, I want to plug that this weekend we have Steve Sweeney on NJTV, WNET, our PBS series, State of Affairs. He was on with me for a half an hour talking largely about that, and he said, look, I used to be for the millionaire's tax. I used to think it made sense. He said, but in the context of the Trump tax plan, which, again, I do think actually has some value to it, the thing I don't like is in New Jersey we pay the highest property taxes. So whether it's my home or Sweeney's or yours, Route 78 where you are, I got to tell you, when you can only write off $10,000 of your state and local taxes, and then you want to say, by the way, if you make a few dollars, $1 million plus, we're going to hit you even harder. I don't think it's going anywhere. I think it's dead in the water. My opinion right now.
No, you're right. You know what's interesting,
but
too,
I understand what Susie's interrupting, Joe. I understand where Phil Murphy's coming from because he wants to have a lot of new programs that help the poorest of the poor, and he's looking for more revenue. My fear, Joe, is that I'm not going anywhere, you're not going anywhere, but some folks who can leave will leave, just one more day than half the days in the year, move to Florida, no taxes. No income tax.
How many to your point, Mr. Adubato, how many mutual friends do we have where you go, hey, man, where you been? And they go, well, I'm a Florida resident now. How many? I hear that all the time.
Too many.
Yeah. It's got to stop. We'll talk about this tomorrow. The great Steve Adubato. He you know what's nice about Steve? He's very knowledgeable, and the thing is,
very humble.
You know
I thought that's where you were going. I'm sorry, John.
No, it wasn't, but it's okay. No, I was going to say, it's fun. You make this fun, and it's going to be fun tomorrow with this great panel at the Salem Business Breakfast at the Passaic County Community College. And, Steve, we thank you for being there, brother. Can't wait to see you tomorrow, Stephen.
Love you guys. See you tomorrow.
Love you too, pal.